Several years ago, I obviously I love grime from before it was grime, blah blah blah. But I'm a photographer, and what I kept on seeing is like, for example, what started me in photography and grime in particular is that I kept on seeing P Money on shows and that, but the picture, he had no beard in the picture, right? And obviously we know P Money has a face full of beard, right? So I was like, cool. I linked up with a few other photographers and said, yo, let's like, we're already in these sets, we're already in these shows. Let's take some pictures of these people. So I sent out a bunch of emails, bunch of DMs, bunch of messages to like artists and stuff like that, saying, hey, um, would love to shoot you, do press shots, do write ups, and all this sort of stuff. And honestly, bro, like I would say, what about under 5% got back to me. Like Mango got back to me, and Stormzy got back to me. Funny enough, but nobody else did. Is what you're saying about we need to have our own infrastructure, and I think that's true. I think we need to behave and market ourselves like that. What I find is that when I'm trying to, or I'll speak to you previously because I'm actually trying to do it again. But when I try to like set up interviews, set up podcasts, set up like videos and pictures and stuff like that, it was quite difficult. It was quite difficult to
Do
do
you
that.
know
I
why?
was
Do you know why?
gone.
Do you know why it was quite difficult? Because when you're an artist and you've got a manager or a team, they just want you to go to the big one,
No,
GQ,
but
and all
no, but
this.
Wiley, I'm
Okay, tell
talking
me.
the artists that I'm talking about. They didn't have like, as far as I'm concerned, I was talking to them directly. So it wasn't like a manager or a team. This is like, like underground grime. So it wasn't mad. This is like what 015, 016 when it was on the cusp of like radar and everything, and everyone just doing loads of sets and whatever else. So like it was just about to pop from there. So I was talking to these artists like directly, like meeting them in set, saying, "Yo, I'll finish work and come to wherever you are, wherever ends, and give you a bunch of shots, press shots, whatever. So you're out there looking good, and we can come with some sort of professionalism." And then I started writing for a publication called Nation of Billions, and that's where I done the interview with you, and like stuff like that was cold. Like speaking to you about a load of stuff that was happening at that time, speaking to a bunch of artists that was it was good because we had I came with the writing, I came with the video, came with the pictures. It was awesome, but it took a lot of effort to get artists to agree with that. It's like they were just like, you know what, I will come to the set and then that's it. I don't want to actually market myself
Do
to
you know
be this
why?
massive MC.
Do you know why? Because they thought you wanted something for yourself out of
uh
them.
Bro, I don't see how that could be, man, because like
Because
I
because if
I
you approach someone and you say, I want to take pictures, I want to interview, I want to do a podcast, I want to do this, straight away, it's either they don't want to do it or their back goes up because they think, right, who's this guy? What does he want? That's
no,
quite an attitude in London. Go, carry on
I,
though.
at that, all right. So, as far as them not being able to, not wanting to do it, I hear that. That's fine, right? But at that point, when I started reaching out, I was, as I said, I'm already in the dances. I'm already like, I was on tour with Eskimo Dance for like 2 years at that point. So, like, I was giving out pictures and sending them to artists that at that time anyway. So, I
Okay,
wasn't.
okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So, like, I was just a genuine supporter of the thing. So I'll give an example of so what I think is kind of a good way to do it, right? So you mentioned Stormzy before. Stormzy was one of the guys that came back to me, that replied back to me. I met him behind a gym in flipping Fulton Heath. Took some pictures. Those pictures ended up being used by the BBC and blah blah blah. He then brought me out on his first Dreamer's Disease tour. So I went, all these like little rooms he was doing, like 300, 400 people. I'm not saying that's little, but the rooms that he was doing then, he had like three photographers and the videographers, like invited them on tour and like pay for their travel and whatever. So that was all covered. So after that tour, he had a bag of media that was able to go out like that. Same with like Manga. Manga agreed to work with me and a few other people. So all of his like album covers, his mixtape covers, his press shots. Anytime he had an interview, he was set proper. And I don't think that documenting the scene is being put at a priority. Like, people will have shows and not invite photographers and videographers, and they will have sets and just not invite photographers, and I don't understand why. Because in
I do. I do.
2016, go on.
I do understand why. You know why? For somebody to invite you, they would have to actually rate your photography in the first place.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking back now and I'm thinking, rah, when I got to go and do a booking or I got to go and do something, I just want to go and do the booking and get the money. This is before. So just say between 2000 and 2010, yes. You came in, you said you started doing that. That would have been Meridian Dan, that would have been Skepta, shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you would have approached Skepta to do shutdown, he might have just ignored you. Not because he don't like you or not because you're not a good photographer. To him, that might have just been go on.
All right, so to rebuttal, my friend Vicky Grout shot all the pictures for Shutdown and done the timeout cover as well, and she was in the same places that we all were. It was like the same, as I said, same way.
So she got it and you didn't.
No, it's not even bad. I didn't, but in the same way that I got an interview with you, it was because I guess you must have saw my name and went, all right, I've seen your name here, there, and about. And the scene was bubbling in that time where we were being allowed to be in places to take pictures and document what's going on. Now,
yeah, but you just gave a good example. The lady that you just mentioned, I remember being at all the sets taking pictures of the man, them and that. Then she got the Skepta gig, then man never saw her again. So a lot of people that were inviting photographers and stuff like that saw that and probably was like, nah, fuck that. You get me?
Nah, as I said, I was in the same dances as she was, bro. So I'm gonna.
But you didn't get the Skepta ones though. Did you approach Skepta? Because I have to use him as an example. Hey, why didn't you ask Skepta to take pictures of him?
Because I'll be honest, that was too, like, I was interested in documenting the underground grime. Like, Skepta's gone in it. I don't need a picture of Skepta. I wanted to look at the artists. Like, at that time, it was like Big Zoo, YGG, AJ, them man.
Did you get AJ Tracy? Did you get AJ?
I've got shots of all of them.
Okay, good. So you did. You know what it is? I think it's more of you're a photographer and you wanted to do your thing. Some of them did hear you and some of them didn't hear you. I don't think that this because in building infrastructure we need you, but some people are just on their own thing. Like I don't. So go on.
You know what? I hear what you're saying, bruv. I don't want to make it like about me, but what you're saying as far as what we can. What's a good way to move forward? In my opinion, I'm all about like documenting things, right? So when people do like Insta lives when they're making beats, that's sick. Like when they're doing sets and stuff, and they put up their phone to do Insta live, like that's sick. Like I think we need more of that. We need more. Like as far as I'm concerned, I don't know if there's like a grime podcast, for example.
It's easily done.
I hear that, but it's not. But it's not done. It's not. It's easily done, but it's not done.
No, it's easily done. I'm not a podcaster. Someone tried to pay me money to be a podcaster to talk about stuff that they wanted me to talk about. So to set up a podcast is a YouTube channel. Obviously, like to say it's not done. People from grime have been on other people's podcasts anyway. There's podcasts there, like that urban people have set up. You get what I'm saying? They are there. A particular just grime podcast, it's not rocket science. It's quite easy. It's obviously we're here today to get the ideas out, like to see how infrastructure should be built. Yeah, but podcasting is not the be all and end all, and it is not rocket science.